Hello everyone, welcome back to the Gutes campaign. It is episode 16, and in this episode we are going to be capturing the capital and the only city of the Picts, the city of Tuesis, which is going to become eventually our provincial capital, our capital of the kingdom, rather. I'm going to have to do this through some wizardry, some hacking. I'm going to have to put on my fingerless gloves. I'm going to have to put on some synthwave, retrowave music, Kaczynski perhaps, and do some serious fucking hacking, some text editing or something. Because I've read this is possible. I'm not entirely sure how it is done though. Having said that, now, as for the actual capture of Tuesis, we are going to, for the very fun of it, hire some onagers, some really cheap Celtic onagers. I seem to recall these guys costing like 1,000 gold per turn, but apparently they've since changed that, or maybe it's a mod thing. Let's just pretend I didn't open my fucking mouth. Now, I imagine the majority of you, well, maybe not the majority of you, I'm sure that there's some of you out there that would prefer I auto-resolve this battle because we have a massive advantage. However, I'm going to rule by decree, an executive memo. I want to fight this battle personally because it is actually the first proper siege of the campaign against a walled city. So for my own personal enjoyment, I want to fight the campaign, the battle, rather, especially with these onagers. Now, bear with me here. I want you guys, just let me have this battle, and I'll be sure to auto-resolve some shit down the line. Let's meet somewhere in the middle here, please. Okay, quick, like just as a side note, do any of you know what the difference between an onager and a catapult is? The only thing I see different is that an onager has the sling attached to the end of the actual arm of the machine. Is a catapult like a fixed arm, a fixed cradle, as it were, for the missile? I don't know, just something I was thinking about. If any of you know, please let me know. Now, I think we ought to stop rambling about onagers, catapults, and the like, and get in to the Battle of Tuesis, and ultimately the defeat of the Picts, because that is what this is going to lead to. I will see you guys outside the walls of Tuesis. Here we go. It's a wonderful day for a fucking siege, I tell you that. What's even more wonderful are these goddamn siege towers. I just love the models of these. To be honest, I love siege towers in all forms. In all renderings of Total War. In all miniature tabletop war battles. War games, I should say. War battles, my fucking god. I love them in literally everything they've ever appeared in. Lord of the Rings, all those siege towers are fucking excellent. They just give me a massive chubular. Now, Ragnarr has appeared on the exact same part of the wall as Haraldr's army is currently facing, so this almost seems, it's certainly wasteful. I would like to use these onagers, but we're gonna have to wait a million fucking years for them to show up, that's for sure. Let's see how long it'll take. Come on, we'll zoom past here. How bad could it be? Right, it couldn't be possibly that horrendous. I guess what we ought to do is move in with all of the infantry in Ragnarr, right? There we go. Get these skirmishers to take up positions in the fucking forest for whatever reason, God knows what. They can have a campfire, a camp out, put up some tents, some hammocks, lick each other's butts for all they care, I don't know. I've got my spears and Haraldr lined up with the gate. They are eventually going to try to take it down. And then I've got my slingers here. Now, I'm not sure what my slingers are going to be able to hit, but we will certainly... Fuck, no, don't do that. Let's move these guys forward, like so. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hit anything, but we'll try them out anyway. We're also going to move the siege towers up. And then we have the hounds as a reserve, just in case. We're probably going to use these Viking, or rather, what are they, axe warriors? We're going to use these axe warriors as a second wave. For the towers, these guys can be a third wave. We'll put these guys together in a group. They will be on gate duty. Put them in column. Wonderful. And then Heraldir and Ragnarr, I guess, can take up the rear. Now we have some archers here as well. Let's see if we can get them involved in this whole scenario. Looks to me like they can hit these guys on the gate. My slingers, not so much. Not hitting anything. I guess we gotta move them forward. Now, I must admit, I'm pretty much milking this siege for my own enjoyment. We could very easily have taken the walls already. I do apologize, but at the same time, I don't really apologize, if you know what I mean. This is a battle entirely for me. It's for me. So it looks to me like we're actually taking arrow fire from these Celtic bows, and that will simply not do. Let's get some counterfire going on with our archers. Our slingers have yet to take a single casualty. I'm not sure how they've accomplished that, but it looks to me like my slingers are focusing on these guys on the wall, and they're actually pretty resilient, it seems. But I want my archers to hit those Celtic bows, the slingers to aim at this Celtic band. Maybe we get lucky, get some hits on these Celtic band in the rear. That would be nice. And then I want my onagers to come up and fucking hit right there. It looks to me like they're already firing, which... that's bizarre because they don't have the range to do so. Please move up entirely. Okay, so we're skirmishing with the missiles. I don't know if we're actually... oh my god, we're taking hits from the onager atop the hill. That's just fine. They could fire from that range at my missiles. Very little problems. Let's grab my skirmishers and see if they can do some damage. Let's get them firing as well. So my slingers are slinging, and it looks like we are actually hitting these guys in the rear. Oh, there's all sorts of troops back here that we're hitting with this. Oh my god, there's like cavalry, it looks like. Man, yeah, let's get... the slingers really ought to hit these guys on the wall. It's doing great. The archers, though, they're not doing so great against these bows, and I'm not sure why it is. It doesn't look to me like they're actually moving in a position. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, let's speed this up. I don't want this battle to take all fucking day, that's for sure. Where are the catapults? They're still way back here. That's a shame. I just want to use the fucking onagers, that's all. To be truthful, that's all I want to do. Okay, our bowmen need to spread out. Our 2 units of slingers are still doing not bad. I want my archers to maybe hit those brigands because those archers are very nearly out of ammunition. There we go. Well, that's not a proper volley. That is not a proper volley. This is far too few arrows to cause any significant damage, right? You need at least... it needs to be at least 3 times as big. Oh, but shit, here we go. We've got some javelins coming over the wall. Those look to be doing some damage. Okay, this is actually not so bad. We've got lots of missiles coming in now. This is what a siege really ought to look like. Oh shit, what's going on here? It looks to me... looks for a second there like they were trying to leave the city. Which is all sorts of crazy. Oh, they are in fact leaving the city. Okay. Hit them with the missiles. If they try to leave, fucking sling them. Hit them with the javelins, you know, the drill. Fucking wreck them. Okay, we've broken some cavalry. Our withering missile fire is doing quite well here. Let's see if we can get the onagers to fire as well. Where's my cav at? Put them all up on the hill for perfect viewing position. Let's get the spears to attack the gatehouse. Okay. And we may as well move all of them forward, like so. Like so. We'll move the generals forward. Man, okay, so let's get a status report on the missile fire. There's all sorts of Picts guarding the gate. They're now taking onager fire, which is amazing. Let's take a look at those guys, actually. Let's... You always want your onagers firing flaming rounds. Actually, no, not those guys. They're in the fucking forest. You want your onagers firing flaming rounds for the cinematography, you know? There we go. We ought to be seeing some missiles flying now. Looks to me like we're actually taking... We're taking some hits in the archers, and weirdly enough, I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm not too concerned. Okay, where... Oh, they're not firing now. That's bizarre. Can we fire at... Like, where is the range at here? Fire here. Can we do that? Apparently, yes. Okay, we've destroyed the gates. We've got onager fire now, spewing in. The missiles are still flying. I guess we ought to get the towers moving as well. Here we go. Our skirmishers are out of missiles. Our archers are out of missiles. Oh my god, we just roasted our own spearmen with that missile shot. And our slingers are out of missiles. Man, okay. We're taking some friendly fire, but I like the look. I like the cut of your jib, me onager, me lads. I like that they've just burned the fucking gatehouse down. I want them to bust open this fort wall. And we're slowly advancing with our spear troops. My men, unfortunately, not doing so well. I guess that's a sacrificial unit for my own sick, cruel joy. That's perfectly fine, in my opinion. Sick, cruel joy, you know? How bad could it be? Let's... Okay, they've broken. And here comes more onager fire. That fort wall is now down, but it's not... Oh, that's disappointing. I was hoping it would open up a spot for us to climb the walls, but apparently that's not the case. These guys can leave. We'll get the rest to move in. Charge in, boys. The catapults will stop firing. I'm not that cruel. Once we've claimed the gates, we don't need to, you know, light our own men on fire. Oh, I already forgot about these dudes. Move up, me pretties. There we are. Okay, I'm not too concerned about casualties because... I don't know, I can't imagine there's much the Picts can do after this battle, but that's completely huge amounts of arrogance. You really should not play as recklessly as I do sometimes, but I think it's just entertaining for both me and you as the viewer. That is my hope, anyway. So we've taken the walls pretty easily. A little disappointing. I mean, the missiles did all the heavy lifting here. That's where all the fun was as well. Now it's just a matter of claiming the rest of the city. We've got troops over the walls, troops in the gate, charging out of the gate. We've got Ragnarr, or rather Haraldir. He's cutting down some of these Picts. Let's see if we can spot the man himself. Oh shit, we've just stabbed a woman in the throat there, which is pretty rude. We stabbed a bald man. Is that looks like Sigurd. That's who that looks like. Oh, I see. That must be the bodyguard of our general. Now, we're just going to grab all of the troops. Look at this stream of men who are... like, just look at all these beautiful shields streaming forth, cutting down what few Picts there are to defend their homeland. Women. That woman with some sort of perm, I guess. It looks like Janice off of Friends. Very bizarre. And yet they still come. Holy shit. It's just a big wave of death. And we've captured now. We've captured the city. There's no way around it. Let's send these 2 units to capture the gate. These 2 units to capture that gate. Send some more men to capture this gate. Hopefully take out those towers. These 3 units to break down the barricade. We'll get the Viking raiders and the axe warriors in the center. The 2 general units I think we'll leave behind, but we may as well get these guys, you know, to destroy the enemy general. What the fuck? These brigands are still kicking. Okay, let's speed this up a bit. I'm seeing that we're nearly 20 minutes in, which is, you know, I'm not pleased about how long the battle was taking, but, you know, who cares? Ultimately, who cares? Okay, so we've got some brigands here who are refusing to break. Let's send some levy after them. We'll send in the axe warriors first, Viking raiders second. These 3 guys are actually... Are they taking that barricade? I thought I told them to. Okay, these Celtic brigands are... They've broken. Let's capture this gate. I like the look of my men swarming over the enemy settlement. It's the true sign of conquering, I suppose. So this barricade will be down really quickly. We're marching up the hill with our axe raiders, or axe warriors, I should say. I keep getting mixed up. I think we ought to set them up, if at all possible, like so we can get perfect javelin usage, you know? That would be ideal. Now these guys, they're heading way too slow. Way too slow, and they're taking casualties from the towers. Now, it looks to me like we've set some of the town on fire. I'm not sure if that's perhaps my raiders. Raider, here we go. This unit may set buildings on fire. Okay, so the raiders are indeed the ones to blame for that shit. Okay, let's charge here. Hopefully they're going to throw some proper javelins. Nope, let's try that again. Okay, well that wasn't much better, but at the very least we're charging in with the axes. I feel like this... Oh my god, it's actually a really good matchup. Looks like my axe warriors are cutting up these Celts. There's a beheading right there in the center. Okay, well apparently they've routed already. So that was a really good matchup, it seems, between my axe warriors and that warlord. They went down really quickly. Well, we could have surrounded them too. Anyway, that is the end of the battle for Tuessis. I enjoyed that, though it was, you know, it was sort of like putting putting lipstick on a pig. You know, dressing up something that is actually a shining, shitty turd. It was not the siege that I was hoping for. There was very little defense there. Apparently they had 1,500 men, but I'm not sure where they were. I didn't see them. Primarily because I was killing them with missiles beyond line of sight. They were in the fog of war, getting hit with the fucking stones of war. So that's certainly one way to win a siege. Okay, so we've just spent 20 minutes fighting a useless siege battle. I assure you we will be auto-resolving many more battles in the future. Now, we've captured Tuessis. I don't think we can fuck around with public order at the moment, so we'll just occupy. There's actually a few things I wanted to point out before we fought that battle, but I neglected to do so. For example, I wanted to look at the public order situation within our province. It's actually relatively stable. Next turn we'll have a -4 public order penalty, possibly, if we were to grab Ragnarr and garrison Eildon. Well, we can't now, but if we were able to, that would probably put us in the positive public order next turn. Although what I'm seeing here now are 3 weak Pictish armies. And I don't necessarily like the idea of them stumbling around, fucking my day up. So, like, my concern here with these 3 armies is that they're now migratory. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to enter like a city stance, an encampment stance. That's going to soak up our food. And we're probably going to have a food shortage. So either my choices are to either destroy the Picts as soon as possible, or alternatively, I need to sue for peace so that they aren't soaking up our food. And I'm not sure how easy it will be to reach them. Let's just grab, I think... Let's grab some Nordic Band, just to fill out our ranks. And, yeah, this stack too will fill out... Okay, well, apparently 4 units is all we can get. Are we recruiting... No. Well, oh, I see what's happened. We had 5 recruitment slots due to our... whatever you call this. I've already forgotten. Edict, that's the word. Due to our edict, we've lost a recruitment slot. So we'll fill out Ragnar's army. We'll fill out Haraldr's army as best we can. And next turn, and the turns following, I think we're going to have to mop up the Picts as best as possible. Primarily, I think it's going to be slightly difficult because we're going to be taking attrition from the winter terrain. And if the Picts encamp, we're going to be taking attrition from the food shortage. Okay, so as for the province itself, let's see. Yeah, so already they are taking 6 food and apparently 1 from devastation from battles. So technically we should be at 12 food. Let's see, the small city has reduced our food... or actually has increased our food consumption by 35. So I was worried that if we were to have destroyed this building, we would have issues with food, and I'm pretty glad actually that we didn't destroy it this time. Now this enclosure apparently needs to be converted. Let's see, we can convert it to fields or pastures. Well, first we would have to repair it. I imagine we can actually tear down this building, although it looks to me like... Are we actually receiving food from that building? Show me the food. Fertility, 34. Buildings, negative 25. Okay, I'm not sure how that math works out. We'll have to repair all of this stuff eventually. For now, I think we'll just let it auto-repair. I don't necessarily want to spend any money on repairing this stuff whilst the Picts are able to attack us again, because they could very well damage our buildings. It looks to me like Haraldr has a rank... Haraldr, rather. Now, I think we'll put a point into cunning that will reduce his upkeep. Shazam! And we'll put a point into infantry commander. Before he was like a man commander. Now he is well and truly an infantry commander. Before he was a goat commander. Not a shepherd, a goat commander. He would lead goats into battle like the son of a bitch he is. Now, Vikingr is still a few turns away from Iblana, but he will arrive shortly. Now, I think it is time for us to end the turn once he's done moving. Fucking Vikingr. I really want to see what the Picts do, so let's find out. Alright, it looks like Haraldr himself is trying to defame Ragnarr, which is pretty bizarre. You would think they would be brothers in arms at this point, but no, there's some sort of tension between Haraldr and Ragnarr. And I imagine it's because Ragnarr is the king and Haraldr wishes to be the king. There's sort of like a rivalry there. I mean, Haraldr looks pretty badass with his eye patch. You know, it looks to me like he's seen a battle or two. That's for sure. I'm not going to deny him office, though. Let's advance him. And see if he gets less antagonistic as time goes on. Okay, we do indeed have a food shortage, mostly due to hordes in our provinces. Or rather, mostly due to buildings, our own consumption, but it's truly caused by hordes in our provinces. Now, the issue here is these Picts are going to be recruiting units, so we really need to take them out as soon as possible. The problem there is that we don't have the movement to engage them, and we're going to have to cross snowy ground to accomplish this. Okay, we've taken some attrition, and we're probably going to take a lot more attrition due to winter and the like. Now, my concern here is we will attack them and they will run. I wonder how many men they could possibly recruit, because they've already got 9 units here, 12 units. I worry that Ragnarr is not actually going to be able to handle those guys on his own. I want to set up, if at all possible, like an ambush up here. That way, if they try to flee past Heraldir, we can take them out. Of course, we're going to attack them next turn. That is if they don't attack us. Okay, well, we're going to obviously take some attrition. Probably massive amounts of attrition. But it's all we can do, I think. At the very least, we can pad out our numbers with some mercenaries. Let's see. Merge some of these spear units. Oh, fuck me. This is silly. There we go. We'll disband this guy. Get out of here. And we will get a expensive mercenary in the form of a unit of... No, not cavalry raiders. We'll buy these Celtic band. There we go. We'll just have to pad out our numbers with mercenaries as time goes on. Now, I want to see this issue resolved. Like, I want to see it come to some sort of resolution. So we're going to spend a bit of time, a bit of extra time this episode to see what happens here. So we'll end the turn yet again, and hopefully they don't attack and we can pin them next turn. Alright, let's see how much attrition we took. 27 men. So just shy of 300 men in Ragnar's army. 200 men. Oh man, yeah, like 400 men in Heraldir's army. Sigar lost 80 men as well for some reason. Famine, refugees, office secured. Oh my god. Okay, ambush foiled. One of our forces has been detected while attempting an ambush. Okay, let's see what we've got. We've got 7 units here, 7 here, 5 here. So, let us merge troops yet again. Pad out the army with mercenaries. We could probably pad them out even further, to be honest. Like, why is it I have to do this individually every time? I don't remember having to do that. I thought it would just automatically top them all up. Okay, so at the very least what we can do is pin them between our 2 armies, correct? Well, it looks to me almost like their zone of control is so large that I can't actually draw all of my forces into battle. Yep, that is actually the case. Okay, so it looks to me like Ragnarr is going to be the only army able to actually attack here. So they have 2,700 men. We have many more men, but at the very least they're going to come in piecemeal. I feel like Ragnarr and his troops can take on these armies as they come in, and then Heraldir is going to be forced to deal with any remnants. It's really upsetting that I'm not able to bring Heraldir into the battle. But I think this is possibly the best way to defeat the Picts at the moment. So I'm going to end it here. When we come back next episode, I actually, unfortunately, I want to fight this battle because we don't have a huge advantage there. And I feel like we could take far less casualties if we just fucking body these armies. You know, just swarm them one at a time with a bit of strategy and a bit of tactics. We can come out the other end with far more men than we would be able to do with an auto-resolve. So that is my decision-making there. And yeah, let's end the episode. Thank you everyone for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. Always appreciated. And I will be seeing you guys with episode 17 of this The Gutes campaign using Terminus Total War on, it looks to me like Friday, I guess. I will see you guys then.